behalf of the legal aid board, we want to welcome protested senior lawyers and guests in the civil society and from our working partners. We'll start with a brief introduction. Members of the high table. Next to me is the president of the Sierra Leone Station, the person of Telegram Story. Next to him is the executive director of the legal aid board, Mrs. Claire Nancy. Next to her is the chairperson of the legal aid board, Honorable Justice Lisa Showers. And next to her is Honorable Justice Judge of the Supreme Court. On that note, I will briefly introduce the chairperson for this ceremony. Most of us have seen her or worked with her, or one way or the other, relate with her. She used to work for the State Council, that is the Law Officers Department. And she's also known for her media activities. That is, she's an individual that she's passionate about media functioning. She works at Capital Radio also. Currently, she's a defense counsel. I think she has had the opportunity to work as a state counsel. And now, she's also working as a defense counsel for the legal aid board. She has her own thing, and she knows how to do her own thing. So that one is question mark. But without much ado, she's not a person, but Mrs. Spencer Coker.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all, to our senior justices, Justice Hamilton, and the chair of our board, Justice Showers, to the Sierra Leone Bar Association president, to the executive director, Ms. Hansels, to our senior colleagues and colleagues, all members of the board, the state, and interested parties. We welcome you this afternoon. As my colleague, Mr. Kaikai, has stated, we are here on what I believe will be a very historic occasion. The Legal Aid Board is going to be an institution that will be known throughout Sierra Leone for successful partnerships. Our work has started in various capacities with various institutions working on building partnerships, because we believe that in order for us to be successful across the entire country, we will have to build on those partnerships. We will have to rely on interested Sierra Leoneans, organizations, and our most learned colleagues to ensure that this institution that is here for the protection, promulgation, and what we say, just the general goodwill of Sierra Leoneans, poor Sierra Leoneans, will be successful in years to come. So today marks the start of this partnership for the public, really, because as the Bar Association President will tell you, this has been ongoing since the organization's inception this May, as we've been working on this. And this is a social contract that will now go out to the public. Myself and my colleagues, Ms. Blake and Mrs. Say, we're just coming from court earlier today as we've been laying the groundwork for these cases that will be passed on to the council today. They are of various offenses. Mrs. Say will talk about that, but you will see that both judges and accused persons are waiting eagerly for your intervention. So we thank you for that. Right now, I will be calling on the chairperson of the Legal Aid Board, Honorable Justice Adeline Shower, Supreme Court Judge of the Republic of Sierra Leone, to make her statement.
Thank you. My Lord Justice Hamilton, the President of the Bar Association, Madam Executive Director, senior members of the Bar Association, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me first of all welcome you to this signing of contracts with lawyers who will be helping us with the cases. As you are all aware, mandates in the Salon, the Legal Aid Board of Sierra Leone is to afford representations to indigent persons. And this is our key activity. And this is the first step we are taking in getting lawyers to assist us in representing these accused persons. So it's a very big step that we are taking. And we are looking to you, lawyers who are going to help us, to cooperate with us and to not only represent the accused persons when the case starts, but to represent them throughout to its completion. Now you all have been trained, got the necessary training apart from the legal education which you receive, but you've been trained to do these representations. So we hope that you will make us proud, not only the Legal Aid Board, but your president who has given you to us to assist us. So we are looking forward to cooperation and to a great working team. With those few words, I'd like to encourage you to do your best and help the indigent people who are looking to us for assistance. They are already desperate, as you must be aware. We have been inundated with requests, and we don't want to let them down. They are looking forward to this representation in court. Some of them, as you know, have been in prison for quite a long time. We've taken them as a priority, and we don't want to let them down. We want to encourage them so that when their cases are completed and they are discharged, that they will come back to the community ready and willing to be of good service. So please, this is just a few words to welcome you to the service of the Legal Aid Board. The remuneration will not be much, but the service that you will be providing will be a blessing to you. So I would ask you kindly to help us out in this regard. Thank you very much.
Honorable Justice Patrick O. Hamilton, Supreme Court Judge of the Republic of Sierra Leone, to make his statement on behalf of the Chief Justice.
Good afternoon all. Justice Sharon, Executive Director, all protocols observed. Let me say that legal aid is indeed a new system within this country. Those of us who study outside this republic know, at least have some idea about the operation of legal aid. In the first place, we have to realize that our nation is economically poor. And most of those who become defaulters of the law hail from very poor background. I was lucky to sit on the cover because I am far above that now. But with my experience in the criminal jurisdiction, I was asked by the Chief Justice to assist him in the call over. The legal board was indeed represented. Mrs. Chairman was one of those there, together with Mr. Sisi. I had to discharge an accused who has spent more than what is required if he was found guilty, if at all, as the period he has spent at Baleba Road. It was Mr. Evans Issei who brought out the application before me, sitting, and I decided to use my discretion. And I'm sure I did use it wisely. The sentence was supposed to be maximum 5 years. The man has been in remand for close to over 6 years. So I had to discharge him. The aim, I am sure, of this board is to decongest the prison. Now let me appeal to those representing accused persons, especially those in remand, that they take up their case as fast as they can, from beginning to end, with the best of their ability. I mean, let us forget about the liberation. I mean, if it was for liberation, I don't think I should have been on the bench. Because at SLP, no was better placed than a magistrate. But we decided to stay because this is our country. We have to see it move forward. Let me appeal to those taking up the contract to please assist to have. I am sure during the coroner I gave bail to an accused person who was charged with murder. It was a big surprise, but I did it because of certain reasons. I used my discretion to grant that person on bail. Firstly, he was a lecturer, lecturing in one of our institutions. The allegation made against him, as far as I am concerned, was one in which he is innocent, and he is innocent until he is found guilty. I then voluntarily put him on bail so that he could continue his lecturership at the institution in which he was. Now, these are some of the things I expect from those lawyers taking up this legal aid system. That they do handle these cases to have those not guilty be acquitted and discharged or discharged as quickly as this can be. Please let us have this profession as our baby. Let us, those of us now engaging in legal aid, see that it progress and progress with speed so that it takes. And I thank you for listening to this short speech which I gave on behalf of the Chief Justice.
Is to decongest prisons. At least that's one of our aims. So therefore, take up your cases as fast as possible and defend. We call on the President of the Sierra Bar Association to make his statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Schultz, Madam Executive Director, members of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished guests. May I, before proceeding, recognize the presence of two past presidents of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, my predecessors in office, Mr. Davidon and Mr. Shares Moses. Thank you very much for your prior services to the Sierra Leone Bar Association. It is indeed a momentous occasion for us today to be here to conduct the handing over of files to legal practitioners who will be participating in the joint project between the Sierra Leone between the Sierra Leone Bar Association and Legal Aid Board. The mission of the Legal Aid Board ties very closely with the vision of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, which essentially is to make justice accessible to all. We in the Sierra Leone Bar Association do not believe that poverty should be an impediment to accessing justice. And that is why we have a good number of barristers who have signed up to participate in this project. And this is a project that we will guard jealously. This is a project that we are committed to seeing succeeding. This is a project that we believe will be an enduring legacy for the Sierra Leone Bar Association. Last week, I was most moved to hear the testimony of the prison chaplain that was released after due to the intervention of the Legal Aid Board. And I think we want to hear more of those stories. We believe that prison should be a reformation environment, should be a reformative environment, and that those who go there should still come out and serve a useful purpose in society. And to that end, last year, the Sierra Leone Bar Association had met with the prisons department as it was then, and we had the prisons department explained to us the conditions in the prison and how prisoners there had been in detention for periods that even extend the period that they would have been if they had been sentenced. So from that moment, we resolved as an executive then that we would participate most effectively where we can and where we can. And this is what has led us to our partnership with Sierra Leone, with the Legal Aid Board. So with that, Madam Executive Director, I would like you to know that you have a durable partner in the Sierra Leone Bar Association, that you have committed practitioners, people who are not motivated by money but by seeing justice done. And that, I believe, is the primary motive that we have so many lawyers gathered here today. So with that, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to make a statement.
Poverty should not be an impediment to accessing justice. This project, we hope, will be an enduring legacy for the Sierra Leone Bar Association, and Sierra Leone Bar Association are committed partners with see justice done. Thank you, Mr. President. And I'll call on the Legal Aid Board Manager, Mr. Ansmana Ivan Sisse.
Members of the Legal Aid Board, colleagues all, it behoves me this afternoon to appear again once more before you to give a quick presentation on what it seems like your role in our justice system. So this will be the first time ever when presentation of criminal files will be made available to members of the Bar Association of Sierra Leone to go out and represent indigent persons, i.e. people who cannot afford to pay the services of private practitioners. I must say this, that it's a big help in hand made by the government of the current government of Sierra Leone, and we must welcome that idea. But the apex of my presentation here is how best, or your position as legal practitioners doing this legal aid matter. You go out there, you will be our Messiah. You are our John the Baptist. They are preparing the way to provide representation, legal representation for those who cannot afford. And please, we expect of you to put up all the necessary professional practice and ethics. Because whatever you do out there in the court will have to reflect on us. Good presentation will be collective responsibility. If you present yourself negatively, it will also be our responsibility, and the public would not be actually happy with that. So we allow you in all the cases. No. You do your level best, and as long as the conscience of judging that you've done your level best, that will be okay. Please, again, as I said to you some weeks ago, make sure that as legal aid practitioners, you are doing criminal matters, and you know there are techniques. I've already shown you some of those techniques. You heard a few minutes ago when Justice P.O. Hamilton referred you to one important case that he discharged. If I had not used my experience to win the file and know the maximum imprisonment for that offense, I would not have been in a position to bring that to his notice. Could you imagine that guy was charged with larceny? And the sum is under 80,000. We're expecting that whosoever would have been the mighty to have treated it summarily, but he decided to treat it by way of criminal investigation. So never that notwithstanding, we are imploring you to do all what you can to bring the image of this legal aid board to the public, so that when you do cases, when you appear for this indigent, they will be satisfied to say, even though I have lost my case, but I'm satisfied with the representation made by my lawyer. We don't want to have a situation where files are given to you, you say, this man can eat money. When the matter is mentioned, you are nowhere to be found. That doesn't organ well for our organization. Because government is pouring actually money into this project, and we want output, and we rely on you to discharge those outputs. Whatever file is assigned to you today, make sure that you look at the charges. And you must have at the back of your mind the maximum imprisonment. Then when you look at the indictment, attached to that indictment, there is what the police call charge sheet. And on that piece, there is the date of arrest. Look at it and see how long this accused person has taken in prison. Then you'll be able to bring that to the notice of the presiding judge. For some other indictable offenses, where put aggravation. See, because we are finding it very difficult with the jurors. See if you could talk to the state council, if you're unable to just make reference to us, we can do, so that the offense will be reduced to either simple robbery. I mean, that will empower the judge, the trial to be by judge alone rather than by jurors. Because the more speedily you treat these matters, you have so many. As I speak now, we have about 10 or more clients waiting. And I know Salomon, the free lawyer, 10 or more clients waiting. I will have more of these cases coming up, and will be handing them over to you. So with that, I thank you very much for your divided attention, and hope you go out and portray the image of the legal report. Thank you.
Negative or positive, whatever your actions, they'll fall back on the legal aid board. The lawyer is as good as his case. Even if the client loses or is sentenced, he should be satisfied that he was represented well. I now call on our Mammy Queen, the Executive Director of the Legal Aid Board, Mrs. Claire F. Carlton-Hansen.
Good afternoon, all. This is a very, very important day in the life of the legal. Files are going to be handed over from us to the Bar Association onwards. I want to say thank you very much, first of all, to the government of Sierra Leone for creating the scheme. Because even today, let's give Ivan a big hand. He got 10 people off from Padema Road who have been in prison for well over 2 years. And as legal aid lawyers, you're going to realize that success, one way or another. We have more files, we want to start giving them out. But please, see as best as you can. Little or no delays. Turn up for court. You know, people like Justice Hamilton, when they sit court, they want to finish court. You have judges like that. You have magistrates like that. Read, at least look at your CPA. Look at it once in a while, all the time. Make sure at least you know. Because we don't want a situation where somebody who needs to come out has to spend longer behind bars because maybe the lawyer is long-winded in his reading. We want to say thank you very much to our seniors, to members of the board who are here, who have always been with the board, and to also the Office of the Chief Justice. At this juncture, the files are ready to be handed over. Maybe the manager, Mr. Ivan Sise, you can bring the files forward. The chair of the board is here, so she can symbolically hand over all the files to the president of the bar. There's a column for that. Okay. All right, that is next. Yes, that is next. So just come up now. I think that is where we are. Today it is not more for speeches. It is more for us. If you can see the audience, it is more comprising lawyers, journalists, civil society, and people who, one way or another, have something to do with law courts. So we want to thank you very much. It's a very professional gathering, and we're going to now do the symbolic handing over of files, and we will take it from there. Thank you very much.
Permit me to present to the president of the Bar Association, Sierra Leone Bar Association, I mean, 50 criminal files to be assigned to interested members of the Sierra Leone Bar Association who are already present, some of them here, to do for these poor guys who are out there, and who, from the report of the TRT, some say they do not have access to justice, and that is one positive factor of the rape of war. So we rely on you to talk to your people, to go out and that they are there to do their level best and to ensure that these accused people have justice. So on that note, I have the honor and privilege to present to you these 55 that you see to you for onward distribution to your member. Thank you. And from there, they will be signing, but not now, they will be signing instruction forms and also acceptance of legal aid instruction form. They will do it later. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, Mr. Manager, my lords, members of the audience. Well, it is with great joy that I receive these files. I'd like to assure the Legal Aid Board and all present here today that those who have committed themselves to participate in this scheme have done so wholeheartedly. They would utilize their professional training. They will work zealously in the interest of justice. We know as lawyers that you do not win every case, but we will do our very best to zealously represent our clients' interests. And that is the commitment that the Sierra Leone Bar Association makes to the Legal Aid Board and all present. Thank you.
Thank you finally, Mr. President. Sorry, I forgot. I have also the honor and privilege to present to you checks that will go as a form of pro bono, just stipend, for these files to be, done by your members. So again, I have the honor to present to you about 24 or 25 checks, 25 checks to you for unknown delivery to your members who will be assigned to some of these files. Thank you.
What a pleasant surprise. I don't think we were expecting that.
There's a social contract, despite the contract we have directly with the members of the Bar Association, there's also a social contract with the public. And as moral guarantors, they're here observing this signing over, this public signing over. I'd like to call on a representative of civil society who will make a statement, a short statement, society as guarantors for the process.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, Justice Hamilton, all protocol observed. We are happy for this historical day. We'll be yearning to have this type of structure. And everybody knows in this country it has been the cry of civil society to ensure that justice is for everybody. And today, we have started demonstrating it here. But I want to appeal to join the last speakers to appeal to our practitioners. We know you are focused, or be more focused, dedicated, and let us crucify all other activities that will divert your attention. For the legal aid board, let us have trust to our legal practitioner. I thank you.
Some official business in terms of signing of documents that we've done later. Right now, I'd like to call on my colleague and senior, Ms. Cheryl Blake, who will be doing the vote of thanks.
To say thanks to the Almighty for making this day possible. On behalf of the Executive Director and Chairman of the Legal Aid Board and President of the Bar Association, I would like to thank you all for taking part in this program. To our council who have been assigned cases, I want to thank you for participating in the program. To the Fourth Estate, I want to thank you for gracing this occasion. I thank you all.
Too quickly, we're not going to keep you too long, but we do have some official business. I will just confer with the Bar Association President as to how he wants us to proceed, and I'll let you know in a second. Thank you very much for coming out this afternoon, and we look forward to this long and very fruitful partnership.
So today we have seen the assignment of 50 kills to members of the Bar Association. Tell us how committed are they considering a pro bono service?
Well, members are very committed. This was something that we advertised within the bar, and those who were interested submitted applications. So it doesn't matter what the monetary compensation is. Members here voluntarily signed up because they believe that access to justice should not be limited, that poverty should not be an impediment to access to justice. So these are people who believe in that core value, and that is why they signed up.
Tell us the caliber of those that have taken up this assignment, because when it's free, maybe those high-profile lawyers will not come in for such cases.
Well, the lawyers that you see here today are lawyers who have been practicing for a number of years. They are lawyers who have been practicing criminal law for a number of years. So the representation is high quality. And I am quite sure that the indigents for the people who would be receiving these services would truly appreciate having the services of a trained professional.
So how would this impact generally on the dispensation of justice in the country?
I think it will impact very positively. There are people who have been held at the Pedemba Road prisons for the corrections department for a number of years, and they will now have their day in court. And that is what we intend to do, for justice to be done and justice to be seen to be done. So we very much look forward to this, and I'm quite sure the people that we will be providing services very much look forward to our representation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.